Welcome to PTSD Self-Healing Show. I'm your host, Pantea Kalhor. Episode 5, How to Heal from Hurtful People with Traci Neal, Certified Motivational Youth Speaker and author. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and pre-order my book, Naturally Conceived, through Amazon. Thank you for watching. Having an abused relationship and getting a PTSD afterwards, it's so difficult to recover. But I have a very interesting person here that she could recover from that relationship, and she is a bright author. She has lots of great things to share with you, and her name is Traci Neal. So I'm so happy to have you, Traci. She's talking about how to heal from hurtful people, and I can't wait to interview you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell me about your story first. How did you end up to recover from PTSD, and what was your story? Tell me about it.
Okay, I had two experiences that I encountered when I was young. The first one, what happened when I was 16, I was dating a guy and he was physically abusive and verbally abusive. So that took a lot out of me, being so young. And then my other one was when I was 20, I was raped. And I did not know the guy very well. So that was something that I blamed myself at first, because I was sexually active in college, and I grew up in the church, so I thought that I had kind of shamed my family. So I was like, I guess I got what I deserved. But after taking an actual service, sexual trauma services, I realized that those experiences really affected me, and it caused me to have triggers, nightmares, and just feeling uncomfortable around certain males. It was just hard. But through that service, I was able to find my happy places and deal with my situation in a positive way. So I found that my outlet could be writing, and also just, shielding myself into a more positive state. So I do a lot of self-reflecting and, talking to myself and learning more about what I can tolerate and what I cannot. And one of the things that I learned was that I have a circle, but everyone does not have to be a part of my circle. I can, choose who's in my circle and who's not.
All right. That's very interesting story. I know relationship, especially for young people, is so difficult to get over, especially when it's abusive and tough. And you were so brave to finally find a way to recover from that. And I think the first step was that you just realized that you can recover from it by yourself. So you found a way, like your journaling and writing, to do some self-discovery and protect yourself from that hurtful feeling that you had. So actually, my experience is almost the same. I love journaling and writing. I'm author too. And I think writing helps you have lots of focus to just do whatever you like and express your feeling on the paper and connect with yourself. Yeah. And
yes,
and because there is nobody else like you. Even if you have a lot of support, there is nobody else like yourself to know what you need, how to recover, how to proceed to better level. And I think when you have PTSD or these traumas, sometimes You have two options: want and decide to recover and be a better of yourself. And another option is you just dig into it and just overanalyze what happened to you and have a self-pity on yourself and go deeper and deeper to depression. And you're so brave that you chose the best option, and now I can see you a successful writer doing children's book and encourage other people to do the best of themselves. Yeah. So
I will have to say, not to cut you off, I was not so brave. I actually was in relationships, and I shared these things with the guys that I was in relationships with, and none of them, seemed to be bothered by the fact that I had gone through this, except one. And he ended up dying from a brain injury. He
oh,
was the one that told me to I needed help, that I needed help to get through this. And so I ended up researching for sexual trauma services. And as I was going through the program, he died. But I pushed through and I said, I'm going to finish, because he would have wanted me to finish. So he was the one that helped me.
good. But you have another trauma as well. As I see, you had this difficult losing time, your friend. And that's so difficult as well, I know. But what happened when you recover from it? Because when you recover from PTSD, you change your angle to your life. Many things gonna be changing, and you were so young when this happened to you. So what was this self-discovery trajectory to you? What did you do, and how did you start to join the circle, and what do you suggest for others?
So for me, I can only speak for me, it was my faith. I always thought I had faith in God, but definitely after the guy died, it strengthened from it, because I felt all alone. I felt so broken. And so my faith is what got me through and to continue to pursue. And that's where I found my peace. And so I guess for me, I would tell anyone, you need to find peace, whatever that peace might look like, whether it's through reading, journaling, yoga, whatever it is that gives you peace, you need to hold on to that. And so for me, it has been my faith that I held on to, and it kept me happy.
That's a very amazing point. I talked to a coach. He's an EFT coach, and we actually discussed about the same thing yesterday. And he said the first thing in PTSD patients is feeling safe, secure and safe. By the time you don't have that feeling, any other attempts looks like it's not going to work for you. And exactly that's what you say, because you said you needed some peace in your heart. So you can find this peace by journaling or going to church, praying, or something that you feel supported, you feel loved. Yeah. So what do you do? Do you still have those triggers after years?
Every now and then, but now I know how to handle them. So before, it was like I embraced them. So I know for myself, with the guy raping me, I could hear his voice like in my head sometimes, and it would just make my body cringe. And he even tried to reach out to me a couple of times on the phone through a private number, and his voice just made me tense.
Wow.
And it was just really bad. But now, I can talk to people about this and not, feel overwhelmed. So I know that there's a peace there.
So could you get married after that and have a family?
I am married.
Wow, yeah.
I
Yeah.
I got married on, I'm 31 and I got married on my 29th birthday. He proposed to me on
Wow.
my 29th birthday.
Great news. Great. And you have kids?
No, we don't have kids yet.
You will. You will.
Yes.
So, what are the top secrets to go over PTSD?
I want to use words. I will say diligence, self-reflection,
Mm-hmm.
and hope. Hope. Always have hope. You will overcome it.
And I guess by the time you don't want it, nobody else can help you. Was there any time that you feel that you can help another person that um, feels depressed and suffer from PTSD? Could you help?
I feel like I'm doing it right now. And I do it with my business. I am all about inspiring people, and they know me as a transparent person. I'm honest. I tell stories, I share, and I'm open, and I show a lot of compassion and love because I feel like I've been there. I've been through a lot, and I think people appreciate the authentic me because it's something that they can relate to and build that connection. And people want to feel like they have hope. And by me sharing and being transparent and relatable and honest, they feel that they can keep going, that they can make it.
So you feel that PTSD is curable?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. I confirm the same thing because I asked this question from all of the interviewers, and they confirm that yes, it can be healed and it can be recovered. But I guess the degree of PTSD is different from different people,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them is so difficult to get over, like losing someone, losing a child, or um, losing loved ones. It's much more difficult. But as you say, you had somebody beside you that you loved him, and you also lost him. How did you recover from that? How could you get over it?
That also ties into my faith. I tell people I remember when I was working in the school district, I parked my car before I went to work at an empty parking lot and I screamed to the top of my lungs. And I felt so empty, like how am I going to make it? And I felt like God saw me through it. And I remember, I can recall, I was a pre-K at the time, this little boy, because they had actually met the guy that I was dating, my pre-K class. And this little boy cried because I was, saying that sometimes I might cry, guys, but, I'm going to get through it. And he just shed a tear. And I felt like it was like God telling me, I feel your pain. And someone even asked him, like, such and such, why are you crying? Because Miss Neal is crying. And that just really, it kept me going. Those little moments that I felt like how am I going to go on? It was just these little reminders to let me know that I have a purpose in this world and that
Wow,
someone else does feel
so
my
touching, so touching. I love that. Thank
pain.
you for sharing. It's so, when you see somebody talking so hopeful and inspirational, then you think, why should I be depressed? Why should I let myself to go there? Because there is no use to go deeply there. And then you have a lot of beautiful things around you that you haven't discovered yet, like what you do as writing. So how did you end up to be a writer?
Writing was something I always had since I have been 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that is actually the purpose of my books is I could not accept being a writer. I thought I was different. I thought I was a weird kid. Like I remember getting awards for writing at a young age and I'm like, I'm so different. I don't want to be different. I want to be accepted. So it's this big thing. And I ended up spending years trying to become a school teacher, and that never worked out. And I don't think it was supposed to work out. I was meant to be a writer. And so finally, when I turned 30, I accepted the call, and just it's been great ever since.
Yes, it feels good when you see another author there. So, why did you end up writing children's book?
I knew that I wanted to do something for youth. So when I was working in the school district, I also did after school care for third through fifth grade, and I fell in love with the older kids. You know, I felt like they need inspiration too, and they just the connection that I got with them, I just loved it. So I knew that I wanted to do something to inspire them. And I also was active in the children's ministry at my church, and I watched kids growing up and becoming older and teenagers and graduating, going to college. I'm like, they need inspiration too. What can I do to inspire them? So that's how the book came
And you
about.
were so young when you did it, right? Yeah, around 30, still young.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
know, I was 22, 22, yes, when I started teaching in high school. It didn't take so long, maybe 1, 2 years, but still good because I got lots of experience connecting with high schoolers. They are so different from like daycare kids and even adult school, because I used to teach in daycare, I used to teach in high school and college. So different levels are so different,
Yes,
have
they
different
are.
needs. And but high schoolers have so much energy. It's so difficult to manage the class. So you need to have and learn how to have discipline, and how on the other side how to be lovable for those kids. Yeah, it's an art. Teaching high schoolers, it's an art, but it's good. It's a great experience. They're lovely, and they are fully enthusiastic to learn. They are really inspired to learn something. So that's what I like about them. So, what programs do you have? Do you have any free program, or do you have a class or anything that you can suggest my audience?
Yes, I have created a Zoom class because I wanted to do something with my writing to give back to the kids in need. So these classes they do have a fee, but they're very affordable. So I've created them so that the elementary school kids can focus on handwriting. I felt like that was a strong need. And so that includes cursive. And with the older kids, it's just teaching them basic structure and, you know, techniques to help them improve on their writing.
That's good. And I have all the links here. I can share it later. So, how writing can help to recover from PTSD?
It is so vital to get thoughts down on paper. You never know what's in your head until you write it down, like and just write. And sometimes I would read it back to myself, and I'm like, wow, I was really
Oh, really? That's the
feeling
same
feeling
thing. That's the
really
same thing with
emotional.
me, especially for poets.
We're very expressive people.
Yes. So, a poem. Do you write poems?
Yes, and I actually talked to my husband. I want to do a poetry book. So
Wow.
I already have my poems typed up. I know what the title is going to be. So we're going to make it happen. Me and my husband are like go getters. We do it.
Wow. Great. I love poems, and I used to write a lot of poems. When it's not every day. You should be in kind of mood to write the poems. It's not every day writing. But when I write it, I should be in a very special emotion, or something special should happen to me. I can write poems. Yeah, but as you said, whenever I look at those poems, oh, did I write this? You can't believe that you have already written them. Yeah. So I'm so happy to have you here, and I really wish to continue with you. If you have any suggestion for somebody who already struggled with PTSD, I know there are some steps to get there, and you told me the top secrets that you can recover from PTSD. But what is the first step for somebody who has PTSD to recover from it?
One thing, you can't be in denial. I think that I knew what had happened, but I acted like it was no big deal. And I guess I got to that point because when I shared, with the guys that I was in relationships with, they act like it was not a big deal. So I got, in my mind, to the point where I'm like, okay, well, it's not a big deal. And finally, someone that really cared and loved me said, no, you need help. So accepting that this is real and not being in denial is a first step. And you have to understand that you're going to need help. You can't do this by yourself. Like, no man is an island. You have to get help with it.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Yes. So again, I tell everybody that PTSD is curable. You can heal yourself, and you have to trust God if you believe in it. And you have to trust yourself, trust your body, trust your mind, and connect to right people, as you said. So accept the support, not with the negative people or people who are going to take you down. Because I've seen a lot of people want to sympathize you, but on the other hand, you don't feel good to connect with them. So you may need to remove those connections from your life and just add positive connections that you see, even after abuse, even after any bad relationship, you can start over. That happened to many, many people. And relationship is not just one time happen to anybody. As you are very young, especially for teenagers and for young people, you shouldn't be so desperate that you should have that relationship forever. If it's not working for you, then that's not for you. And you shouldn't obey and you shouldn't accept that abusing relationship, because that's not gonna work for you. And you deserve more than what you think. So the best thing, that's the good sample for you. She's a very lovely author, and she's happy, she's positive. This is not end of the world. When you end up with a relationship, there is still lots of them. There are a lot of people living in this world, and you deserve much better, and you deserve to be loved. And first you have to love yourself, as she said. That's the first step. If you don't love yourself, then how can you expect other people love you, right? So by the time you feel that peace inside you and the security and all the great feeling inside you and the feeling of forgiveness, probably you did the same thing. You forgave the guy. And as soon as you do this, then you don't hurt yourself first. Then you don't feel that you are under pressure from other people, right?
Right.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Traci. That was lovely. And thank you for all the inspiration. And hopefully my audience also enjoyed.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much.